What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Marvel Snap video, and today is a special day because it is the first ever Saturday showcase. Thank you very much to everyone who submitted their decks to me. So if you don't know what the Saturday showcase is, it is the weekly series that I am starting today, where every Saturday I'm going to be showing a few decks from the community, showing them off, and then I'm going to pick one of those decks to play a few games with. So at first I'd say that I would do 5 decks, and I might do that going forward, but for the first one we're going to do all the decks that were submitted, which I think was like about a total of 8. So I'm going to show all the decks for this one, but going forward, yeah, I'll probably do 5 or so and then pick one of those to play games with. So if you want to be part of the action on the next Saturday showcase, what you got to do is join the Discord. Link for that will be in the description down below. Send me your deck in the Saturday showcase channel and you will have a chance to be featured in the next video. So thank you everyone who submitted their deck entries. I really do appreciate you. And for those of you who might be new viewers or maybe recurring viewers, do me a quick favor and check if you're subscribed, because you know sometimes people might be watching these videos and they're thinking, hey, they're subscribed already, but they're not. So do me a favor, check if you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing if you like this kind of content and want to see more from me. And if while you're down there, like the video as well, I would really appreciate it. Now without further ado, let's get into the first deck here. So the first deck we have up is a deck from MaDAxe called Sera Turn 5, and it is a budget Sera list, and it is very interesting, I must say. It has a lot of kind of little components to it, right? Little kind of combo pieces to it. Like you got the Destroy package with Bucky Barnes as well as Carnage, but then you also have the combo with like Forge and Brood. MaDAxe says you want to save your Forge and your Brood for the last turn, as well as Wolfsbane. I think Wolfsbane is a pretty decent card. This kind of looks like it could be a Silver Surfer list as well, but I'm not sure if he has Silver Surfer, if he's playing a budget deck. If he had him, he probably would be playing him. The Rhino, I do kind of like the Rhino inclusion. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Rhino is not great, if I'm being honest, but he can be an interesting pick sometimes over Storm or Scarlet Witch. So I think that is kind of interesting. I really do like Sentinel and Sera lists. It just keeps your hand, you know, full to keep playing something over and over again. And I like the Forge to also combo with Mr. Sinister if you don't have Brood. Fantastic and Captain America are just really solid 3-cost cards. The Armor, I feel like Armor might conflict with the Carnage, and I'm not really sure what else Carnage eats besides the Bucky Barnes. Maybe just any other tokens, I guess, that spawn from random locations. I guess you could eat the Forge as well, that's fine. But yeah, I guess it's a decent combo. No 1-cost cards. I think I would probably throw in like a couple 1-cost cards, maybe at least one, at least like an Iceman or Korg or Sunspot or something, right? Throw at least one 1-cost card in there, but a very decent budget Sera deck nonetheless. Thank you, MaDAxe, for sharing your deck. All right, next up we have a double She-Hulk deck submitted by TheGeordieLad. Thank you, TheGeordieLad. He says basically you snap turn 3 once you see all the locations, and if you have Zabu in hand, and then the finishers are you can pass on turn 5 and play a Dino plus She-Hulk on turn 6, or you could do Moon Girl turn 4, pass turn 5, and then play 2 She-Hulks and a 4-cost for on turn 6. And then you can do Dino turn 5, Mystique to copy, and then a Cosmo to protect your Dino and any other high power cards from Shang-Chi or Enchantress, anything like that. This is a pretty solid Zabu Dino list. I do really like the inclusion of the Shang-Chi as a tech card. I like the Moon Girl and the White Queen. Crossbones is a card that's pretty decent. Like, he didn't see a lot of play until Zabu lists, but I think he's actually pretty decent in Zabu lists. I like that he's 8 power because it's just under Shang-Chi range, right? If he was 9 power, he's vulnerable to Shang-Chi, but 8 power is pretty solid. I think She-Hulk is a pretty solid card. Devil Dinosaur is always going to be a good card in the meta, unless they like really nerf him somehow, but he is always going to be relevant in the meta one way or another. And he's starting to grow on me a little bit. I know at first I said I thought he was boring, but he's starting to grow on me a little bit. I'm starting to enjoy Devil Dinosaur decks a little bit more. Mystique to copy the Devil Dinosaur is a good addition as well. Sunspot to go ahead and skip turn 5 to play She-Hulk on turn 6 for very cheap. Scorpion, good tempo value. Enchantress, the only thing, Enchantress, I'm not quite sure about, if I'm being honest, because you have a couple ongoing cards you don't want to Enchantress, right, with Zabu and Devil Dinosaur. But I guess I could see it as an encounter for like all the Darkhawks out there and whatnot, and enemy Zabus maybe. So I guess I could see that, but a pretty solid Devil Dino She-Hulk list nonetheless. Once again, thank you, TheGeordieLad, for submitting your deck. Appreciate you. All right, next up, we have a Darkhawk deck from PulseGlazer. Shout out PulseGlazer. And now, personally, myself, I don't have Darkhawk, so I can't play this deck. But I have every other card except Darkhawk in this deck, and this deck looks absolutely stacked, dude. This deck looks insanely strong, if I'm being honest. You have Sunspot for just good early game tempo value, combo with the She-Hulk to you know, skip a turn, and She-Hulk plays for cheap. Korg and Rock Slide to put rocks in your deck to power up the Darkhawk, and then Black Widow as well to prevent your opponent from drawing. Zabu, because you run a lot of 4-cost cards. Mystique could copy the Darkhawk, so you essentially get 2 Darkhawks, maybe even 3 Darkhawks actually with Moon Girl, right? Because you can duplicate your hand. That's pretty insane. White Queen is another good card, and then Arrow is just always good. So this deck looks absolutely stacked. I would absolutely try this deck out if I had Darkhawk myself. I think this card is one of the strongest in the game at the moment, and it is a really good deck for climbing the ladder, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, this looks like a very stacked deck, and I'm very excited to try out Darkhawk when I do unlock him. So thank you, PulseGlazer, for sharing your deck. All right, next up, we have a deck called Cry About It, submitted by Poopsock. Yeah, you heard that right. His name is Poopsock, so shout out Poopsock for submitting this deck. And it's another She-Hulk deck. It seems like She-Hulk is pretty popular these days, but I do like that this deck uses magic, so you can play magic on turn 5. You can skip turn 6. Hopefully you have Sunspot on the board, and then you can play She-Hulk plus Infinite on turn 7. That's pretty insane. Admittedly, I haven't played a lot of magic myself, but I think I do want to experiment a little bit more with this card in the future. I think this deck looks pretty interesting. I do love that it runs Atuma. I'm a fan of Atuma. I'm a big fan of this card. I really like him a lot. I would probably just throw in Zero. I don't know if Mr. Poopsock here owns Zero, but if he does have Zero, I would recommend throwing him in there. The Wasp and the Yellow Jacket are a little interesting to me personally. He says you want to throw them down on turn 7 along with your She-Hulk and Infinite. It is a bit interesting, I guess. Maybe if you're throwing these cards in, you maybe want to throw in Jane Foster maybe to draw them, or maybe turn it into a Lockjaw deck maybe. I don't know. These feel a little bit out of place, if I'm being honest. I would probably swap out at least one of these for Zero. But other than that, it looks like a pretty decent list. I mean, I really do like the Magic She-Hulk Infinite. Like, honestly, as long as you have those, like Sunspot, Armor, Magic, She-Hulk Infinite, as long as you draw like all of those cards, like you could probably pull off a win with this deck. So thank you for submitting your deck, Mr. Poopsock, and yeah, appreciate you. All right, this next deck is Wave of Fun, submitted by Swag. So this deck looks pretty interesting to me. It's kind of like a Jubilee on reveal type of deck. It's running Death and Wave, but there's no like destroy package, right? Which, I mean, even without the destroy package, like you can still make Death cost 4 with Wave. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. You can play Jubilee on 4, and then I guess you could reactivate that ability with Odin. Hopefully you bring out a big body. Domino is a little bit weird in this list, but I guess I could kind of see it. That way Jubilee doesn't pull out like a small unit. You want Jubilee to pull out a big unit. But sometimes Jubilee pulling out maybe like Shang-Chi could be awkward, or maybe pulling out like Spider-Woman. I do like Spider-Woman, actually. I think this card is actually kind of decent. It's not great, but it's decent. I actually really like Spider-Woman. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting list. America Chavez for consistency. Can't go wrong with America Chavez in any deck list, really. I do like the Iceman and the Korg as well. So yeah, a pretty interesting list, kind of like a Jubilee, just kind of casino on reveal deck. You know, I really think it's really different, and I think it looks cool. So shout out to Swag for submitting his deck. Now the next deck we have is Lockula, which is a Lockjaw Dracula deck submitted by your boy Element 5. Now the only card I'm missing from this deck is Giganto, which is just another big body to pull out with either Lockjaw or to sacrifice with Dracula. Is that the right word? Sacrifice, or I guess discard with Dracula. But yeah, Giganto is one of the few Series 3 cards I'm missing. I think I only need like 3 more to complete Series 3, but Giganto is one of them. But other than that, you got a couple big bodies with Hulk and Infinite for your Dracula. You got Wasp to shuffle in the Lockjaw. You also have Thor for Mjolnir, Jane to draw the Mjolnir and the Wasp. I really like that combo. Killmonger, yeah, that makes sense since there's no one-cost cards in your deck anyways. Might as well throw Killmonger in there. Arrow's just always a good card. I like Doctor Doom, and Vision's always a good card to throw in as well. So a pretty interesting solid deck. I'm not a big fan of Lockjaw personally, but I know a lot of people really like playing Lockjaw, and I feel like I've been seeing Lockjaw and Dracula as well a lot more in the meta recently. So yeah, this definitely looks like a very high rolly deck, but if you get your high rolls, it looks like it's pretty hard to beat. And yeah, Dracula is a very strong card right now. So yeah, it looks like a very good deck list. Thank you, Element 5, for sharing. I appreciate you. And yeah, thank you once again. All right, next up, we got a Zabu Helicarrier deck from our boy Skip. As you can see, I'm missing Helicarrier. I don't know how these guys in my community, man, they get all these lucky Series 4, Series 5 card pulls, but anyways, I digress. Yeah, Helicarrier is the only card I'm missing from this list. It's 6 energy for 10 power. When you discard this from your hand, add 3 random cards to your hand. I feel like I don't see this card played a lot, actually. So this deck is very interesting to me. I would actually really like to try it out if I did own Helicarrier. It is kind of like a Zabu sort of discard deck. You got the Lady Sif to discard one of your tall units, whether that be Infinite or Helicarrier. Then you can bring it back with Ghost Rider. I really like that combination. You got early game tempo, Sunspot, Scorpion, Lizard. Can't really go wrong with those cards. And then you got some more 4-cost cards to kind of take advantage of that Zabu with Crossbones, Jessica Jones, Spider-Man, and Shang-Chi. So looks like a pretty solid list, a pretty fun list. Helicarrier, yeah, I think this card is pretty interesting. It's definitely not like a top tier card or in the meta or anything like that right now, but I think it's an interesting card to say the least. It definitely could be played with like Devil Dino decks as well. So yeah, thank you, Skip, for sharing your deck. It looks like a really interesting one. Next up, we have a deck submitted by Kitsune. It is a board clog type of deck, and this deck looks really fun. You have the Hood, which is -2. He's going to add a demon to your hand, but you can kick the Hood over to your opponent with the Viper, which is a really cool combo. You can use Titania to clog your opponent's board and then pull her back. But I will admit Titania is a little bit big brain for me. I haven't played with her that often, but I would like to use her more. So this deck is really cool. Black Widow basically kind of forces your opponent to play the Widow's hand on their side of the board, or else they're just not going to draw cards. I like the Mojo because since you're clogging your opponent's board so often, you're usually going to be able to get full value out of your Mojo, which is really nice. Green Goblin, just another card to put on your opponent's side of the board. Debris is going to put rocks on your opponent's side of the board. Polaris to kind of manipulate your opponent's cards. Shang-Chi to take down any big units. Gamora is a pretty good finisher since you're clogging up your board so much. It becomes easier to predict where your opponent's going to play your cards or their cards. And then Dr. Octopus. I've been loving Dr. Octopus a lot more lately. I think he's actually really good, especially paired with Shang-Chi, right? Because sometimes you pull out really big cards with Doc Ock, like maybe pull out like Infinite or Giganto or Hulk, right? Or something. You pull out those big cards, you just wait till turn 6 and just knock him out with Shang-Chi. So I really like Dr. Octopus in this list as well. Again, clogging up their side of the board. So Really cool looking deck. Thank you, Kitsune, for sharing. All right, and last but certainly not least, we have a Hazmat Luke Cage deck from our boy Ohikno. Now, the last card I don't have in this deck list is Absorbing Man. Again, another one of the few Series 3 cards that I need in my collection. He was Series 4, but just dropped to Series 3. But Absorbing Man is the only card I don't have in this deck list, but looks pretty good. Luke Cage pairs very well with Hazmat. You're going to give all cards, yours and your opponent's, a -1 power with Hazmat, but with Luke Cage, your cards can't have their power reduced. Also a very good tech card against Scorpion, which is really good as well. So with Luke Cage, your Lizard, his power won't go down. Typhoid Mary basically has no downside and is a 4 for 10, which is really nice. You have Mystique and Wong to activate the Hazmat multiple times and then proc it again with Odin for just an insane amount of times. And then the Absorbing Men as well. And then we have Zabu, of course, since there is, what is it, three 4-cost cards, including Absorbing Men in here. Rogue is a good tech card for stealing enemy Zabus or just other ongoing cards. I really like Rogue a lot. I think she's really good. Debris to put rocks on your opponent's side of the board, and then you can give them -1 with Hazmat. And then Dr. Octopus, again, I feel like Dr. Octopus is pretty good, man. He's pretty good. Pull out some cards from your opponent's deck, put them on the board, and then reduce them all with Hazmat. So a very fun looking deck list. Thank you, Ohikno, for sharing. All right, and I think the deck I'm going to be selecting to play a few games with is Kitsune's Clutter list. I think this looks like a lot of fun. Like I said, I want to start using Titania more often. She's a little bit big brain, but I think she can be fun. I like the Hood and the Viper combo, and I've been loving Dr. Octopus lately, so this deck looks like a lot of fun. Once again, thank you, Kitsune, for sharing your deck list, and let's get into some games with this. Let's see how we can do. Currently, we're at rank 106, so let's see if we can rank up a little bit. Right, so first game up here, our opponent hit our Viper with our Iceman, so basically no plays for the first 2 turns. Now we do have Polaris, Viper, Debris, Green Goblin we can play. I like Green Goblin in the negative zone, but at the same time, Los Diablos base might ruin that location, but I still think that's a pretty good play. So let's see, Scorpion. Oh, if we held on to the Green Goblin, Scorpion on Green Goblin would have been good. Hopefully destroy Monster Island. No, okay, of course not. Of course it doesn't go my way. But that is just fine. Now what we can do is probably just Polaris. I think that's a decent play. We can play Polaris. So let's play her in the right lane. Oh, Wong is a little bit scary. Wong is a little bit scary. We do have Darkhawk. What if we actually... We could just Darkhawk, right? We could just Darkhawk here. We could also Gamora here. How many cards does he have in his hand? He has 5. I'm so used to clicking on this in the game, but you can see it on the tracker now. So yeah, I think it's either Darkhawk or Gamora. We could also do like Black Widow Viper. That could be kind of sneaky, but I don't know how good that's actually gonna be. What if we Darkhawk the Wong? Let's do that. Let's see what happens. Let's see what we get. We're going in for the memes, man. Enchantress. Oh. Oh my god, he just Enchantress his own Wong. Oh my god, dude, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Holy crap. Okay, well, we pretty much won the left. Titania would be really good here, but we didn't draw her, unfortunately. So it looks like we do... Ooh. Actually, Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi to just kill the monster, right? He is revealing first, though, so that is kind of... That could be a problem. I do like Gamora here. Okay, yeah, he's gonna retreat. Why would you run Enchantress and Wong in the same deck though? That doesn't make sense to me, but alright. Alright, so next game up, we got a good starting hand. We got the Hood Viper combo. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the Hood on the right location. And should be fine as long as it's not like bar with no name where you actually want to play the Hood. So let's go ahead and play Viper. We drew the Titania as well. Oh, Bast. So probably a negative deck. Probably. And it's Kunlun. So kind of got to be aware of that with the Polaris, right? Kind of got to be aware of that. We could just do like Sunspot Demon. Could do Titania. But Titania is so risky, right? What if we just do... He might have Killmonger, so maybe we wait on Sunspot Demon and we play Polaris. Let's play Polaris here in the Hellfire Club. So Polaris will pull the Hood over there. We get a Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic. So yeah, still potentially could be a negative deck. Let's do Demon in the middle. Sunspot in the right. I think let's hold on to Titania for now. Because on turn 6, we could do Gamora and Titania. Wolf's Bane. Okay. Yeah, this does look like a negative list. We could also do Titania Black Widow. That could work. And wait on turn 6 for the Gamora. Yeah, what if we do Titania Black Widow? How about that? Is that 5 head or is that bad? Sera, okay. That is a little scary. That is a little scary. We got the Darkhawk. Oh, but it's the big house, so we can't play anything there. Oh my god, I just totally gave them a free Titania. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. See, that's what I'm saying. Titania's too 5-head for me. Oh, but we still win. We still win. We still win. I made such a stupid play and we still won. How does that happen? How does that happen? I mean, maybe we could still have one actually though. Play like Gamora on the left and then Sunspot will grow by 1. Maybe we could have still won that, but okay, that was dumb. That was dumb by me, but we still won anyways. All right. Next game up, we got a first turn snapper. This dude is snapping on turn 1. I could play the Hood or I could play Sunspot. Since I don't have a Viper yet, I'm gonna play... Do I want to play Sunspot? I guess we play Sunspot in Asgard. Okay, so this guy snaps turn 1 and doesn't play anything. That is interesting. Let's go ahead and play the Hood on the right location here. Okay, so he plays Psylocke, so it could potentially be another negative deck. Oh, and got one of my cats here, Jasper. Say hi to Jasper, everybody. I know I have a million animals. Don't question me about it, all right? Don't question me. Oh man, a 0-cost Titania. That is kind of interesting. I think I'm gonna do Green Goblin. Let's do Green Goblin on the left for now. Let's do that. Fast. Definitely a negative deck. Oh, Wong too. Okay. Okay, Wongers. With the ink split. Now, what do we do here? I could do... Ooh, we could do like... Do I want to get crazy with Titania here? Do I want to get crazy? There's so many different things we can do. We can do like Dr. Octopus here. We could also do like Debris to put a rock in here. And then play like Titania Polaris. Actually, that could be good, right? Let's do Debris. Titania Polaris. Let's do that. Let's see how that goes. Okay, yeah, so we clogged that location. So Titania is basically free. Oh, that Killmonger hurts. We still draw though, which is good. Here we can do... Let's do Black Widow in the middle. Next turn we can Viper. Here, I think I'm going to do Darkhawk on the right. Yeah, let's do this. Oh, I should have Darkhawk first. I should have Darkhawk first. That way it doesn't pull the Widow's Bite. That's a small mistake on my part. Absorbing Man, Killmonger. That's not going to do anything. Yeah, it pulls the Widow Bite. Oh, that sucks.
Iron Man.
That sucks. Well, that's actually not the worst thing ever. It's actually not bad. Can do Viper here. I'm revealing first though, which kind of sucks, but I think we still win this. Viper here, and then we can do Shang-Chi Mojo here, and then we can do Demon here, right? Or Demon here. Maybe Demon here. Yeah. It was a bit of a mistake in that order. Mojo gets the buff, which is really good. Oh, Ironheart onto Wong is pretty bad. Rude. Oh, they barely beat us. They barely beat us, man. I think it was a mistake on my part in the play order there. I did Black Widow, then Darkhawk, when I should have done Darkhawk and then Black Widow. So that's a small mistake on my part, but we almost had that. We almost had that. That Killmonger kind of screwed me because he killed my my Titania. But yeah, good game nonetheless. Alright, and that's going to do it for the first ever Saturday showcase. Just wanted to play a few games, not too many. Didn't want this video to be too long. Once again, thank you everyone who submitted your decks. And if you want to be a part of the next Saturday showcase, go ahead and join the Discord and post your deck lists in the Saturday showcase channel. I would really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun with these, looking at these decks, and I had a lot of fun playing with Kitsune's kind of board clog style deck. I think it is a little bit hard to pilot, at least for me. It's definitely something, you know, I'm going to have to maybe get a hang of. Maybe I'll play a little bit more of it off camera and see if I can, you know, get some more wins with it. But it's definitely a lot of fun. I think Titania is a really, really fun card to play with. But yeah, once again, thank you guys. If you enjoy this type of content, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like. I would really, really appreciate it. It really helps me and supports the channel. Thank you so much. And if you stuck around to the end of the video, the code word is going to be, what should the code word be for this one? The code word is going to be Titania. So if you stuck around to the end of the video, type Titania in the comments and I'll know you stuck around to the end and that you're a real one for that. So once again, thank you for watching. Appreciate you. See you in the next one. Later.